experiences of meeting with people or getting people turned on to your practice?
Not since I talked to you the other day. I am going in to meet with a veterinarian in our town.
Okay.
He's actually a pretty unique veterinarian. He is intuitive on top of, he's kind of like a, animal whisperer.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring in the frequencies and the genius and give him a little demo there and talk to him about how I can help within his practice.
Wonderful. Very, very good. Let's go ahead and record this here. Okay, a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us for Genius Miracles Hour, where we combine our efforts to work with other people. And we'll take a volunteer today. And we also we can do remote sessions. So if somebody's not here, we can ask people to work in the background, and we have a request for that. So we're going to bring Shirley on to talk about the prayer request or a genius request in just a moment. So Shirley, let me find you here and we'll bring you up here so you can join us. And so get your iPads ready, get your tablets ready. You're going to be working maybe on somebody remotely behind the scenes. Some of you will work with us with the live person. And we really just want to have a live person to work with. So if somebody wants to volunteer today, please say, yes, I'd like to be considered as the volunteer, and we'll work on you. And for Shirley, we're going to work with a family member in the background. So I don't know, Shirley, if you're able to join us. Let's at least have the, maybe we can just at least get you audio connected. There we go. Okay, Shirley, how are you?
Can you see me?
Yes, I can now. We can see you. Yes. Yes, lovely. We have you here. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Ooh, where do I begin?
Well, the one good thing would be to put your son's information into the chat so people can begin putting that into their genius and working with him.
Okay, let me put that in there. Let's see. Chat.
Ariel, can we actually, Shirley, if he's able to talk, can we have him just do, and anyone who's doing it in the background maybe can just record him?
Well, are you in the hospital right now and he's there?
Yeah, I'm in the hospital.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we just work on him live? Okay. So, all right. So, did you put his information into the chat? Okay, perfect. Okay. So bring it on. Go ahead and tell us. I'm going to get everything set up here. Oh, we lost her.
Oops.
Oh, just going to get him all set up. So, Mary, why don't you tell us what you know about the case?
She's back.
Okay. Okay. Have mercy on us, you guys. We really want to help, but also like we're live and we're live streaming. So somebody tell us, maybe Shirley, tell us what tell us all about.
Just a couple more for you. Okay? So my
tell us
son,
about him. Yeah, go ahead.
My son's in the hospital with HSV encephalitis.
Okay, got it.
And now there's a secondary medical condition called anti-NMDA, which is autoimmune response.
Okay.
Now he's on a course of immunoglobulin via IV.
Okay. While let me do me a favor. Let me jump in there, and since we have him, can he speak?
Yeah, we can talk. Let me say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mateo.
Now, can we have him say A-E-I-O-U over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
So let me cue you, and then you have him talk, or Mateo, you talk. So I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and then just keep saying, you could say your name, you could say A-E-I-O-U, anything you want. That's easy. He could just say his full name if he wants to. So I'll just count down and just keep saying it over and over. 3, 2, 1, I'm recording.
A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U,
A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. My name is Mateo DeMelli, A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U.
Okay, you're fine, Mateo. Thank you. I had him say it a little bit longer so people could jump on and get his information in. And you're obviously very, very smart young man. So you caught on right away. I love it. And we're just trying to get the reflector up here. Okay, fantastic. Very, very good. So just hang in there one more second because we just want to get your picture. And let's go ahead and do that. And if you're at home, and you're giving support for Mateo, then you could do the same thing to the screen here. And let's go ahead and see if we can do it like that. Perfect. Okay, stick with us, Mateo. We're almost done here with this part. Really appreciate it. Okay, so let's give him a lot of uplifting energy, knowing that things can be changed for the positive, and just send him really good positive energy. Okay, we're gonna look right in. Yeah, look right straight ahead. Yep, there we go. You did great. Okay, you're awesome. Okay, we can go back to your mom now, Mateo. Thank you so much for being so patient with us. So while I'm talking, you may want to get that picture since I still have it up on the screen. Also, we did actually, Kathleen, we gave out his information right at the beginning. So we can give out his information again. We do have his name and date of birth. So we can just go ahead and give it out once again right here. So we do have it. You may have just arrived a little bit late. No problem. Now you can also take his picture. And everybody here we're not working to diagnose or cure anything. We're working to send harmonizing frequencies to reduce stress disturbances, which we hope will have a very beneficial effect for Mateo. So make sure you've taken the picture of the picture here of him, and then I'm going to go on to the next step. Okay, so what we sort of, even as a doctor, like I would have to dive into all of the details. The reason we use details in Genius Biofeedback is so we know where to focus our efforts in terms of what frequencies to send. So we started off with an infection. Is that correct, Shirley?
Yeah.
We started off with an infection, essentially.
It was more like a flu, and then went downhill.
But then we ended up with an autoimmune response, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're mostly sort of dealing with blood elements, infection, and autoimmune reaction. And then was there something else that I missed in there?
Just significant damage on his temporal lobes.
Temporal lobes.
Memory, cognition is not there.
And that's because of the inflammation of the infection?
That's the damage the virus has done to his brain.
And was that because we didn't know that it existed at the time, or because the virus progressed very quickly?
The virus progresses very quickly and it's very damaging.
Okay. Did your son have some type of a immune deficiency or anything that set him up for this that you are aware of?
Well, we're doing genetic testing, and it's going to take about a couple months for results to come in, but he's also to see if he has any predisposition, but he's also has ASD. I don't know.
Meaning that autism spectrum disorder?
Yeah, so he's more Asperger's, like high functioning.
I see, but that wouldn't preclude him to a brain infection that I know of. Anyway, it's not that important, but I'm just curious what you know.
No, it's very rare, actually. The whole hospital knows him.
Well, you have something like, 20 or some odd people now who are really cheering you on and want to help you. And we just want to sort of work with the correct frequencies. But any frequencies that you or anybody on here sends to him will be beneficial. So, and especially when they're all combined. So let's start with an energetic affirmation entrainment. What would be something that we could say to him, about him, or a word that you would want to manifest for him?
Mary's always so good at this.
Can I suggest it? Because I did already put it in for him.
Sure.
So I put in my brain, my body, and all my cells are working to their highest potential.
My brain, my body, and my cells?
Yes, are working to their highest potential.
That's very good. Okay, so we're now that energy will play in the background. Yes, Marlene, if you need to skip the voice, just be with us by just taking the picture and doing the best you can to just put his name in, his date of birth, and put in the information we talked about as best you can. Even if you need to skip the voice in the picture, just be with us together in real time, and we'll all just do our best. That's will go a long way, just your intention of sending him these frequencies. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go to the aura. And now he seems very calm. Is he calm? Does he see like he is in distress? What do you
So
think?
this is a total change from his personality. He's more, well, he is normally calm, but in terms of his anxiety is usually up the roof. So
Okay.
he's more, and let's say, for example, he's more water. Normally, if I had asked him, well, go ask one of the nurses, he'd be like, no way, you do it. But he's like, he'll go out there and no problem.
Wow, that's interesting.
He's more laughing and joking around, which is not typical as well for him.
I say
Wow.
we're creating miracles already, Shirley. Just so you know, since you got the Genius, I still have the one iPad dedicated to him, and I can tell that you've been running the frequencies as well. Yeah.
Mary, tell us a little bit about what you think of the aura. What do you think of the aura picture?
Some depleted energy. Probably digestion with all the medications they have him on. I like the yellow up there in the left coming in area. It looks like he's coming into some of his own power.
That's very good.
Which kind of coincides with what she said about him now being a little bit more comfortable.
I know.
To, advocate for himself.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Sometimes we do get gifts out of what are difficult experiences. And Shirley, do you have other children?
I have 3 other children.
Oh my goodness. And are they at home on their own? Somebody's helping them, or my goodness, when do you rest?
Well, my husband and I switch off. So,
Oh, good.
He's been here most of the time. This is probably the 4th time only that I've stayed here overnight in 5 weeks.
I see. So you were there in the hospital last night.
Yeah, so we switch off, but I'm usually the one who just comes and visits for 4 to 6 hours, and then I leave.
Right. I totally understand. What is the next step? What are you waiting for that will let you know? Are we waiting for some blood to be more balanced? What's the next step?
Well, we're trying to decrease this autoimmune response because it's can be life-threatening if it's not treated. Everything from involuntary convulsions and seizures, speaking issues, speech and memory as well, like just like his encephalitis, he's got processing, visual, and memory delays or deficits.
And your other children, are they all older than Mateo?
No, Mateo's he's the eldest.
He's the eldest.
Yeah.
Wow. And are your other children seeming like they're all, and God bless, and I really hope that they all seem like they're healthy?
They're all diagnosed with something. ADHD, depression, ADHD, and ODD. And my daughter also has NF1, which is neurofibromatosis type 1. It's
My goodness, you have your hands full.
Yes,
yeah.
you should run for Shirley. Shirley, have you thought about doing group for you and your family? You might want to call me after this and we can talk about that.
Sure.
Okay.
We can actually talk about it a little bit towards
Yeah.
the, I mean, why don't you just talk about it now? If you were to set that up, Mary, what would you do so other people in our community can understand that?
So when we do groups, we set it up with all who are involved in this. I would call like the family group, Shirley's family.
Sure.
Shirley, I would include your husband, yourself, and all the children. And for the voice, you could be the surrogate saying, I am running this group session for my family on this date. And then for the photo, you would write down all of your names, your full names and the birth dates, and take that photo. Or you can even take a photo. What do you think, Ariel, of all of them together if they have one of all of them together?
Yeah, of course. And you can all speak together and record your voice together.
Right. And then run that as a group for all of you.
So when they speak, will you all speak at the same time or all separate?
If you can.
Yes.
And you can even be a surrogate for your family, where Mary, tell her a little bit about how using her own voice as a surrogate.
Yeah, being the surrogate for your own family is you would be saying, I intend for this session to be run for my family members, or you could say the 6 or the 7 or however many someone has in their family. Or like Ariel says, all of you could be together and you could all talk at the same time. And that would be all saying your names and then A-E-I-O-U, or all of you saying, I believe in that power of intention. You can all specifically say an affirmation, like maybe you can sit down and talk about it with you and your husband, and all of you say, my family is healed of all dis-ease within their cellular memory, within their mental, emotional, physical, spiritual components, and we are healed, and so it is.
Yeah, we should write that down. Mary, let's write that down, and we'll write it up and share it with everybody. Say it one more time because that's so powerful.
Okay, see if I can remember.
You can just state it a different way. That's totally fine.
I just get this stuff. So if you sit down together and all of you say at the same time, this session is being run for all of us. And the intention is that all of the family members are healed from any dis-ease within their cellular memory and on all levels, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And so it is.
That's wonderful. What's your sense of, the food plan for your family? What's sort of a typical day, maybe lunch or dinner? Now, maybe before the whole hospital thing happened, what would have been like a typical one? Because I know you're probably very, very stressed right now, but what would you say? Are you able to do whole foods, or not whole foods, the shopping center, just more whole unprocessed foods? Just tell us a little bit about your approach.
Yeah, we try to minimize how much processed foods that they eat. My husband does like his popcorn and what do you call those? Cold cuts. I know those are not really good for you. And sausages. So I try to limit that, but sometimes it's hard. And I try to go vegetarian here and there. But him growing up on a farm, he's like, where's the meat?
I see. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
even the
definitely.
popcorn is not, if you have organic popcorn, you're making it yourself on the stove.
Mhm.
But
know.
so I don't buy juice. The kids don't have juice and all those snacks that they normally have that you see at school with fruit roll-ups and all those unhealthy things. But I try to stick with fruits and vegetables.
So far, for people who've been watching, we've gone through, and I'm going to list them here in case you have them or you can look at them. Why is this doing this? We
Ariel.
went through and we looked at things like, I'm just trying to get in here. We looked at the CBC. So we looked at things related to blood, and we looked at things related to the chemistry panel, which is also about things in the blood. Of course, these are just biofield readings. They're not the same as an actual lab. And we looked at the autoimmune series. And the autoimmune series goes through 4 different steps. So let's just take a look at those. Were you going to say something, Mary?
Yes. Last night I kind of sat in meditation for Mateo.
Yes.
I knew she was probably going to be on the call today. We did have a little chat yesterday. So I was asking specifically, what would be one of the best libraries or programs within the Genius that she could run for Mateo at the time. And I came up with the Gene Keys.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having that, the Gene Keys are like a code book to your consciousness. So I would like to talk to you about that, Shirley, that you can run the Gene Keys for him.
Why did you feel like the Gene Keys were beneficial?
Gene Keys bringing out that coding of you and your archetype. And I haven't totally gotten completely engulfed in it, but I was remembering some of the class that you did when you came out with the Gene Keys and having, I actually purchased the book from Richard Rudd when we did that class, and going through it, just talking about, how patterns in your life and patterns in your ancestral and all of that take place, that working on the Gene Keys may be able to intercellularly affect what's happening with him right now in a positive way.
Let's look at the library. What is the cause of the issue, the root cause?
Okay.
I think that's great, Mary. And also Nancy joins us here and she says, if she has Wi-Fi on in the house, does she turn it off at night? We heal at night and the body can't heal if Wi-Fi is on. Unfortunately, in the hospital, it's hopeless a little bit about the whole Wi-Fi and frequencies and so forth. Do you live in a standalone home, in an apartment? What's your situation?
We live in the country.
Okay. So that's good. At least you're far away from cell phone towers.
I'm actually, my son's like, hey, there's 5G over there. I'm like, oh. I guess we live far enough away from a lot of them, but we do have a few around in our area.
Now, not everything on here is to be taken literally. Let's just read it down. Irregular or incomplete patterns of breathing. So, I mean, he is, let's see, 2009. Is he 13?
He's 13.
Yeah. So it's hard to get a 13 to do yoga and meditation and breathing, but they're, just saying that he's probably been in this fight or flight state because he's been sick. Envy, that could just be brothers and sisters. Lymphatic stagnation, that could be from sitting for long periods of time. And I wouldn't take this literally about the chronic kidney infection, but are you able to bring water into, you said about drinking water, can you bring water into his room?
Oh yeah, he actually because of the antiviral he was on, because it was a 4-week course of IV antiviral. He had to stop it for a few days, I think, because his kidneys were not functioning optimally.
Oh, that's interesting that it says this then. It
Yeah.
says chronic kidney infection or something to do with kidneys.
Yeah, so they had to give him basically liquid plasma to
Oh, to
hydrate.
rehydrate him. I understand.
Yeah,
Because
but
maybe
now
when
he's drinking lots of water now, I think, because he forgets.
Okay.
He had a
Oh,
sip.
okay.
He drinks like yesterday he drank 24-ounce bottles.
Okay, well, you're bringing bottled water, which is good. I was just going to recommend spring water.
I would love to have spring water, but it's
If
Or
you can ever
even
bring him
putting it
bottles
on-
of spring water.
Yeah, and even imprinting it with the frequencies before you give it to him.
okay. I have to figure.
Put
I
it in-
haven't started the course yet, so I have no idea how to do these things.
Okay, totally understand.
Shirley, feel free to call me and ask me, and I'll just give you a crash course really quick while you're still learning. So that you can do that. You can imprint either with the water harmonizer or even just using the remedy plate, plugging it in while you're running his frequencies and leaving the waters sit there on top of it.
All right. Well, all of these are not hitting me as maybe the ultimate root cause, but we'll just include them anyway. And we do see one here, autoimmune reactions are contributing to the root cause, which is really interesting. What kinds of things at home do you have a holistic I will read this from Adina. Do you have a holistic health background? Do you know about herbs at all?
I do a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just need the cheat sheets because I forget.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. No, because when you get home, you may want to start looking at herbal medicine to improve the immune system. And herbal medicine is wonderful because you could combine different tinctures that not only boost the immune system, but also calm the nervous system, which is probably going to be something, really significant. So you could use different types of herbs. Some of them we have in our herbs panel. I'm thinking of things like ashwagandha and rhodiola and holy basil, all the things that are adaptogenic and immune supportive that could help to rebuild his immune system would be really helpful for him.
Black licorice root, raising 5 sons on my own. Shirley, I noticed that whenever I tried to give my kids herbs to help boost their immune system, the black licorice root they seemed to like because they thought it tasted like black licorice. And they weren't allowed to have black licorice. So.
Let's go to the body repair codes, but we're going to bring on Adina. So Adina, we're going to invite you on here, even if you just want to appear audio wise. You have a lot to say. So rather than just saying it in the chat, we'll bring you on here to share your opinion and your perspective. And I know you deal with a lot of difficult situations. So Adina, I'm just going to unmute you here. Are you there? Are you here?
Sorry. I'm here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm mute. Okay. I don't know which one I am right now. I have my phone and I have my tablet too.
Well, let me mute you here. Can we hear you here?
Hear me now?
Let me mute you. Let me do this the other way. There we go. Try that one.
Mute. Hello.
Okay, go right ahead, Adina.
Okay. In my experience doing group, what I do, I always get together the nucleus group. And at this point, the person who needs we said the first step or is the one is in the hospital is Mateo. And then what I will do is I will seat the entire family together at the hospital with him. Because remember, when we bless him.
But they probably only let a certain amount of visitors in at one time.
Only parents.
Okay. If it's like that, they can even be in the parking lot. The closer they are to him, the nucleus gets stronger. Okay. And when the nucleus is stronger, miracles happen tremendously.
Well, can't they pray for him together at home though?
Oh, yeah. I would suggest if he has his own room, that is his temple. You know, his area where he is the most is going to make the difference for him. Because if everything gets together and all the affirmations, everything that they want to say, we don't have to write everything inside the genius. We can say it. When we all saying the AIOU or mom, whoever is going to be in charge, everything can say healing, bless, clearing, everybody at the same time. And finishing with love. Remember, love is an amazing word. And right now, if that nucleus get together, it's going to make a difference. And everybody else that wants to be part of the prayer can be in their houses, like us all over here. And we can be sending those frequency of love, of healing, clearing, renewal, regeneration to him. But at the same time, it's going to bless that nucleus. Because whatever needs to be taken care will be taken care in that home.
So you're saying send prayers from all the family, send prayers from their home on a regular basis.
Exacto. Like if every time Mateo come to anybody's mind, says, "You're blessed, Papa. Mateo, you're blessed. Mateo is blessed. He's healed." I believe I like the 3, 6, and 9. You see, and if I say, if I think of sometimes, my grandson, oh, he's blessed, he's healed, he's renewed. You see, everything that the kids need, or we can say the word 3 times, 6 times, 9 times.
And have gratitude along with that as well.
Before Mary, just hang on just one second. Adina, I think it's important to share with Shirley what you went through with your grandson and the amazing miracles that happened. No wonder you feel a kindred spirit here. But Adina's grandson was born, was it 6 months premature?
Yes, 6 months premature.
Oh, and they didn't think he was going to make it.
See, they thought that he won't survive. And my son asked me to let the doctor do his job. And, I was, in the back, let him do what he needs to, doctors need to do. And when he called me, I was ready. I called everybody. I sent texts, everybody. And we get our nucleus together.
And then you prayed and sent frequencies.
Everything. I send it to him. And people don't believe in miracles, but I do, because I see how the victory comes to each single person.
That's beautiful. So to get together to pray to the nucleus, the power of the family together, sending the intentions, like teach the kids like to do this prayer circle at this time. And if they could be downstairs close to their brother at the hospital, that would be even more powerful. And that
the closer to the nucleus. Remember, if you have what example I can, I speak Spanish, and sometimes my translation take a little longer. But if you have something that is solid, and you try to break a concrete, it's solid, it's hard. But if you have little rocks, you can disperse them. But if it's solid, closer, the nucleus get closer, get solid, get powerful, get that intention covered, protected.
Well, it really says something about the power of families together and how strong they are, and how the bond of love, the subtle energetic connections between them are so powerful that when they work together, they can overcome more than working individually.
Exacto.
I love the insight. Mary, your thoughts?
I agree with her. I agree with that power of prayer. I've had several miracles happen in my life, and very grateful for that. And what I was going to add earlier was having gratitude for it and being in that space of gratitude, Shirley, like just sitting there and picturing Mateo in school and coming home and talking about his day and being healthy and asking for a snack and wanting to go out and play and maybe even being a little sarcastic sometimes, because that's how teenage boys can be, and having gratitude and actually feeling him being healthy, and then having that full gratitude for it as if it's already there. That has created such miracles as well. So
yeah, teaching creating will be make us Mateo, what would you like to do, Mateo? When you're at school, what you're doing, or where are we gonna go? Where is gonna be our next trip? Learn visualization, help creation, help healing coming.
Yes, the creative visualization for him, Shirley, would be great if you could even just teach him that to just sit and picture, while he has this time. It will also help with brain exercises for him to just think about what he really misses, and then have gratitude for feeling that, and having it as if it's not there, as if it's already there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to tap into the things. What does he love to do?
Hockey, soccer.
Oh, good.
Yeah, pilot.
Wants to be a pilot?
He's really good with computers. He reconfigured my computer. He built our deck last summer.
Wow, that's amazing.
If he can just, sit in you and the other family members, like at dinner, if you're together, anytime you're together, actually sit and talk about how he did that stuff, or even what you might want him to be a part of in the future, and act as if it's already happened. Like, can you believe Mateo had his first flight being a pilot? He did so well, and the airlines are going to love him. He's going to be the top #1 pilot. It's amazing.
I saw him flying. I saw his picture. Wow, make noises. Imagine.
Yeah.
He made a hat trick in hockey.
Well, yeah, he does. he used to cook for us as well, the dinners, and
wow, that's amazing. He's got a lot of talent.
Who's been making dinner? I said, oh, do you remember making dinners? I think he kind of remembered. Oh, some of his memories come back, and he's like, yeah, who makes dinners now?
Is he there? Is he there next to you? Because I can see you, but I don't see him.
Oh, he's just walking. He is here. He's just walking around because he's in bed a lot, right?
Yeah. He's getting up and moving around. Mateo, if you can hear me, I'm praying for you every day, and I'm picturing you just having fun and going to school and playing with your siblings and making dinner for your mom now.
Invite us.
Adina, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input very much.
Thank you, Mama. Adina.
Appreciate it. Many blessings.
Blessings. Fantastic. Well, we've been working on the flower essences, and we've also been working on a new library, which is Anatomy of the Subtle Body. It's a really interesting one. We're going to bring it up again to look at it. It's available on the website, and it's all these energetic codes, which are the radionic rates are included as well. And let's go ahead and look at it. It is Anatomy of the Subtle Body, which is here. And like I said, these are radionic energetic codes that can enhance the effect of the frequencies. And it says eliminate congestion in the subtle body and congestion of the mental body. So what is this is saying is this will help to clear these. Overstimulation of the etheric body, congestion of the astral body. And so my understanding, the etheric body is like your energetic double. and things get laid down in the etheric body, and then they get laid down into your physical body. And your astral body is what goes outside when you're sleeping. You travel in your, through your astral body in your sleep. So it's interesting to see some of these, clear a blockage in the etheric body or congestion of the astral body, overstimulation of the etheric body. It's just fascinating to look at these and consider them and see, what comes up and what the effect might be. We've seen a lot of different things. We have seen some things around kidney come up. We've seen things around autoimmune come up. So it does, in some ways, it matches what we understand the condition to be. Now, so Mary, what are your intuitive feelings about maybe why this is occurring?
When you were first running and you pulled up the root cause, there was a lot having to do with the oxygen going to his brain.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was very odd, I thought.
Yeah. So, especially nowadays with everything being so quick and a lot of us being in, that flight or fright all the time, we don't always get the oxygen to our brain that we need, even when we're really healthy. And being really more proactive about doing breathing or having plants around or whatever you can do, oxygenated water, having more oxygen getting to your brain, seeing if there's any blocks, because, you can have oxygenated water and if there's a block of the oxygen getting to your brain, you want to clear that first.
Mm-hmm.
So
but did you have more of a free flow? Sometimes we come in with different inherited susceptibilities and things that we face early in life. Did you have any sense of why this might be happening? And if not, it's okay.
Metaphysically, it could be to pull the family closer.
That's a good one.
Like there may have been a disconnect somewhere, and the family, maybe there was a lesson to be learned about what's really important, not taking things for granted. Surely not that you didn't know all this or you didn't feel that way. Just sometimes that can happen where it kind of, will slow down.
Resonates quite highly, actually.
Pardon?
That's really true. It really resonates because I work all the time. I work 7 days a week. With the recession and COVID, our restaurant was closed for 9 months. My husband was working, I was working. It's always stress, and we don't have time to devote to the kids like quality time. My husband's always on his phone, even when he's home. It's like on his phone, on his computer. Totally that disconnect.
There you go. I mean, actually, you're making the case absolutely for what Mary is saying. It's hard.
Even my family, like my parents and my siblings, have never really come together like this.
Wow.
We've been disconnected as well. So just for everyone to come together during a crisis my sister flew in from Halifax for a week.
Wow.
To help out for 6 days. Like that's really nice.
That's beautiful. So that was, sometimes things happen to us in the family dynamic in order to pull us together and help us to see what's really important and to show each other love and all of that. And then the relationship changes after that. Like your husband may now be very conscious of being on the phone. Like, Dr. Emoto did the study with the rice and had the rice where one was talked to negatively, the dish of rice, and another dish of rice with water was talked to positively. And then another dish of rice was completely ignored.
And the one that was the most disturbed and gray and black, the one that fared the worst was which one, Mary?
One that was ignored.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. And especially with children, children need that connect more than adults do. And when children feel ignored, there's a whole lot going on mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So even just for him to stop and take that time and look at any one of the children or you without being distracted, like even though he's listening, but he's being distracted by the phone, if he's got his full attention on one of the children when they're talking to him, it's huge. I know my boys, they used to grab my face and go, "Look at me, mama."
Wow.
And that hit me when my twins were born 21 years ago. I was ill with bacterial spinal meningitis, and I was actually pronounced dead. And after that, when I was, the miracle happened. I came home, had my memory back. I still had some issues, and I'm still working on stuff, but paying attention to my children, I was like, I'm looking. And sometimes I would like grab their faces after that and go, "Oh, I just love that little face." And I would, talk to them and be more intent. And they noticed that. They really turn and they make comment of it.
I think it's an interesting concept because it's so easy for kids to default into their screens, but they're still not getting, and then that might distract them, but then they don't even realize that they're not getting and we're not giving that personal human attention to them. And it's easier to even forget that's necessary because they're soaked up in their screen, but that's still not the same receiving that we get through human connection.
Right. It's just like an infant who has failure to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
They're fed, they're changed, all of that. But if they don't have that physical human touch and that conversation and that generating love, then they have that failure to thrive syndrome.
Mm-hmm. No, it's such a great point, and it's stressful for families to try to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up living in the country? Is that just where your family lives, or did you make a break from the city?
I took a break from the city. Well, actually, my husband grew up on a farm in another province, and he moved to the city. When I said, "Let's move to the country," he's like, "No, I'm only 10 minutes from work." And I said, "I want, away from the busyness, away from all the road rage, all the infrastructure. You're so close to all your neighbors. There's not really, you're fenced in. You don't see your neighbors. So I just wanted to be out in a place that was more tranquil. You got nature, animals.
That was a great call on your part to be able to raise your family out there as a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was such a smart thing. I think you're going to see more and more people try to escape the city. It's inevitable, just for overall health and sanity.
Before I forget how I got my son into the hospital very rapidly, but I've been using the free trial on my son a few days before he was admitted to the hospital. So it probably saved his life, I think, if we waited one more day, because he would stop breathing when he was in emergency. He would stop breathing.
Mm-hmm. That's because of the disconnect between brain and body for some reason?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he would stop breathing and he would have to poke him. So I was just thinking, if we had waited one more day at home, he may have stopped breathing in the night and passed away.
That's terrible. That's so scary. How did the genius help to determine that needed to happen?
Well, when I
manifest it?
Started running the genius on him, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Why is his brain EEG is like red? It was red. And I ran it for my other kids, and well, not all of them, but some people I ran it on, nobody came up with a brain EEG that was red. So that kind of flagged it. And then as I was doing it every day, and then on the Sunday that he got admitted, he couldn't I say, okay, Mateo, state your name and say A-E-I-O-U. He's like, looked all confused and he couldn't follow basic instructions. And I said, don't you remember I've been running this like how many days now? He's like, no. He had
Wow.
no memory of it whatsoever.
Wow.
And he was confused and he started to drool, kind of like stroke-like symptoms. So
that's scary. That's scary. Really, really frightening. I do think that for you, like getting even more dialed in on your whole food plan will really bear a lot of fruit for your whole family. I mean, I do think the digestion was disrupted based on what we saw. I know it's hard to be, you got young kids, it's hard, but as much as whole, unprocessed, organic fruits and vegetables, mostly plant-based. I know your husband wants to eat meat, so we can't eliminate that, but maybe lessening it for the kids. And also considering fermented foods, fermented vegetables, krauts, fermented beets. If you can get your kids to eat them, that'd be great. Getting maybe some fresh juices into the equation, some green smoothies. It would go a long way because even for the Asperger's spectrum, better diet and a healthier gut makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just saying hello.
And it has a big effect on the immune system. So your food and what you're eating, about 70% of your immune system is in your gut. And so the healthier that you eat, the healthier that immune system will be. It looks like it might be a big struggle. I'm not getting a huge response there. But
it's just
I'm
one
just
of the
putting it out
doctors.
there.
One of the doctors came in.
Oh, okay, no problem. They don't know anything about food as medicine, so.
No, well, that's the thing. The issue is, because there's brain injury, right? And so when the nutritionist was here, I said, the hospital food is not that great. It's not
that great. It's like you're lucky if it doesn't hurt you more than just.
And I said it doesn't support his brain healing. I was like, isn't there something? Would you recommend anything like walnuts or avocados? Blueberries. They're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, okay. Like they should be coming to me with these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Being in the medical field myself, I was in pharmacy, so I understand the medical field, but I'm also understand the holistic. And ever since then, I'm more shying away from medications. Even if you have a headache, I don't like to take medications.
Well, they all have terrible side effects, so that's probably the NSAIDs, and they're supposed to be so safe and everything. You have to be very careful with how much you use them. Use them very sparingly and only on when you really, really need them. So you're smart to do that. And I'd like to call out for anybody else who's been working on Mateo, if you have any input for us, if you have any feedback, if you have any other ideas or thoughts about the case. And we really appreciate you taking time, whether you're running the same frequencies that we are, or you're off doing some other things, let us know what you're seeing. Let us know your thoughts. That's part of the Miracles Hour, is how we all come together. It's so interesting that eosinophils come time and time again. Eosinophils are about allergies. Did he have any type of known allergies before all of this started?
He's got environmental allergies, and he's got animal allergies.
That's coming up a lot too. Dog and cat allergies came up several times. Well, I'm glad that you got the genius, because you can really utilize it for your entire family, Shirley. And I think it's going to come in handy a lot. You remind me of one of my dear friends in California, and she has 3 kids. And we can't say this is a medical instrument, but she virtually eliminated a lot of visits to the, whose office by using the genius. And she would just constantly check in on them. Concussion, she checks in and runs frequencies, or not concussion, but just like falling and hitting their head, whatever. There's so many injuries and things that her 3 teens get. And she's constantly working with the genius and finding that it helps tremendously. So we do have Adina, I'm not sure I understand this. Adina is willing to run some frequencies for Mateo if you are give her your blessing. Are you okay with that,
Hi.
Shirley?
You have my blessing, Adina. Muchas gracias.
Oh, I didn't know you speak Spanish. So wonderful. So she said, gracias a ti. Last week, the conception vessel meridian was very present. Towards the end, the governing vessel came up. I spend most of the time on meridians. Barbara, thank you so much for doing that. Meridians are so powerful, and those are two very powerful meridians, the conception vessel and the governing vessel. So thank you so much for doing that.
And Ariel, to add to Barbara's, your Anatomy of the Subtle Body Library has the nadis in it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, like the meridians are the veins and the nadis are the capillaries.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, I like that.
To run the nadis with that as well would be really good.
Excellent. Very good. We're covering all the energetic areas, and it's true, by working on the biofield, it eventually lays down tracks and frequencies into the physical body.
Yes.
Is there another reason why someone would have that brain EEG in red?
Well, I think it was good fortune that you kind of read it that way. It doesn't always mean an extreme emergency, but it alerted you and gave you a hint about what might be going on with him. And we always or often experience that with the genius, that it kind of reveals something that was previously hidden. In that case, makes it incredibly valuable. So it's possible for a lot of people to have brain EEG out of balance because the delta wave could be out of balance if their sleep is not good. The beta might be out of balance because their focus is not good. Let's go ahead and we'll look at the brain EEG for him today. And just
I did it yesterday, and he's in green yesterday.
He what?
It was green yesterday.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it looks actually okay today. Gamma, beta, theta, those are not like, beta is really about focus. Gamma is sort of a new frequency that we've discovered, that a lot of people who meditate have very high gamma activity. And then the theta frequency is all about working with the deep subconscious. So it looks fine to me. So maybe the fact that you've been working on it, is helping.
Why I was asking, because I've only had one other person, that's my 9-month-old, and he has hit his head several times, more than several times. So now I get paranoid, like, oh, what's wrong with him? So I've been running some frequencies here and there when I remember for him as well.
So this is the general overview, Shirley, where it shows everything under that, everything that's been put into the whole tray. What's the highest all the way down to the lowest? So mind, emotional, the meridians, black flowers, more emotional.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That grief comes up at the highest level, isn't it?
Yeah. And look at all the subtle body up. It's the meridians and the chakras. And
it's said that a lot of the children that are coming onto the planet have increasingly higher and higher vibration, and they're not really fitting into the world as it is created now. They're sort of in, I believe, a futuristic world, which is really just moving out to the country, I think, is somewhat aligned with that, just eating much more pure food, being engaged in more positive and uplifting activities, really reaching into what are their passion, what do they love, that's going to inform what their life is going to be. And they don't run on the same mechanistic frequency of, the old 9-to-5 grind and fit into society. They're in a totally different place, which is representative of what the new earth is going to bring to us. You have any thoughts on that, Mary?
yeah, they're much more awake and aware than we were at that age.
Yeah, and sometimes these illnesses and Asperger's, and it's because there's such a different energy, and we almost have to reshape and reform the world around them in order to support, who they are, being in nature, being more creative and free, maybe being educated in a different way. And I really feel like this realignment brings in their health, their mental health, their physical health. So, Shirley, kudos to you for being so courageous to make those moves in your life.
Yeah, and they're more about the consciousness and bringing the co-consciousness, the oneness, and
exactly the unity consciousness. Exactly.
Less about separation, less about it doesn't seem like it always, but less about materialistic things and more about the love and the consciousness that
they have a great capacity to love and be creative. And yeah, he's probably so advanced beyond what we understand. And it's just trying to understand him and help to bring a supportive world around him. And then I think we see the restoration of health and growth and expansion of these wonderful beings who are going to take over this planet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mary, any final thoughts as we wrap up today?
As you're going through that, I'm just looking and I'm seeing all of that subtle body, all that energetic body. And,
right, a lot of meridians.
Wondering if we did some kind of protocol on all the aspects of the energy body to clear out any of that debris.
That's a good idea.
To have that be strong to pull into the physical.
Let's think about that. Maybe we can come up with a process for it and present it here next week.
Yeah.
Something that combines maybe just meridians and anatomy of the subtle body and the nogies, the solfeggios, and we'll sort of give it some context as well. Yeah, that's a good thinking. All right, Shirley, we're honored, and just thank you so much for allowing us to work with Mateo today.
Thank you all. It's been a blessing.
All right, well, we'll continue to keep in touch and hear how he's doing and help you in any way that we can so that you know which frequencies to run for him, okay? All right, okay, I know she's also got the doctors and everything around there. All right, so let me, we're gonna sort of stop the video there for you, Shirley, but thank you so much. Oh, we didn't mean to unmute you. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Okay, Mary, I wanna thank you so much for being my co-host today. You're absolutely wonderful. Appreciate you so much. I appreciate everybody who sent Mateo frequencies today. If you didn't comment today, send me an email. I'd like to hear about your experience, what your thoughts are as we go through Miracles Hour. And if you need help, come to Miracles Hour so we can pray and send you frequencies and give you lots of love and all that good stuff. All right. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks again, Mary. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much.